In economy, positivism means that you do positive acts in order to change something. For example, we change the interest rate or we try to change the inflation in order to get more people under employment. So the hypothesis is that if we increase the inflation, we increase the amount of money in markets, then companies would have money and then they could employ more people. The problem with that is that, yes, but also with drugs. If you take drugs, then you feel happy. But this is correct for the short term, and in the long term, you just collapse. As of today, it's not actually only the countries that have this power to try and change the economy. It's actually big companies, the big social media companies that have the power. So the power is split in between the states, the crowd, and the social media companies. Actually, we can ask, who had more power? Did Stalin had more power than the CEOs of today big social media companies? And just thinking of it, I think it's hard to tell actually who had more power. Today we have a free market, but is that so? We have a central bank, we have multiple banks, so in a free market, would one expect to be able to arrive and to set a new bank with better conditions or not? So, with the central banks, with a few banks that control things and with not allowing people are even under specific conditions that they need to prove like diligence. There is some bar, so it's not really possible. So it does not look like a real free market. This actually goes back in time into the times where the Jews sacrificed sheep in the temple about 2,000 years ago. Basically, the target of this sacrification was in order to repent and to recover from the sins they had. So what we did was you saved money throughout the year, and then you go to the temple, and then you wanted to buy a sheep in order to make a sacrification. But the problem was that the money that we used back then was not the same money as the temple had, and the Templars are the first bankers. So you had to convert it, but the conversion rate was very high, so you had to take a lot of your money in order to convert it to the temple money to buy the sheep in order to recover for our yearly sins. And then Jesus came and fixed some of this stuff. And all this comes to a place where we ask, what is the true, real basis versus what we believe in that is not correct? Are our beliefs correct, or are they only beliefs that we believe in because the mass media is telling us this, the government is telling us this, everyone around us are believing in this? And actually, only recently it happened that the mass media aligned with a single narrative, and then the whole mass population aligned behind it, and other voices were not heard, which is very contradictory to the whole concept of democracy, republic, and even science, because even in science we need to hear different views and not replicas of one paper replicating one after another.